understanding the real true value of PR on the bottom line of your organization and its impact on the business, I think is really important, and also allows public relations professionals to really demonstrate that value to the leadership. I think it's changed over time because, back in the day we used to look at ad value and, trying to assign some kind of valuation for, some value for PR that really wasn't accurate. And I think, looking at the Barcelona Principles now is a really key factor in how to approach measurement. And I think understanding that it's a journey, but it's a journey that I think professionals really have to look at and be, willing to jump in and try.
Last time I spoke to a room full of PR people, they were mostly mid-level PR practitioners. Mm-hmm. At an event, there were about 300 or 400 of them in the room, and when I asked how many of them had heard of the Barcelona Principles, not even a quarter of the room raised their hand. What do you think about that?
I think we need, as an industry, have to do a better job of educating people who are coming into the public relations industry to help them really understand the importance of measurement and really looking at research, developing insights and strategy. What's the right creative approach, but it all has to be based on a meaningful strategy that accomplishes business objectives. Another great organization, which I've been introduced to over the years, is AMEC, the International Association of Measurement and Evaluation of Communication. Their website has some great resources when you're just really kind of starting out, including a framework that's really key to helping people understand, what PR measurement is all about.
So you also said that you had done a lot of changes to the newsroom following on your feelings about measurement. Why do you think the newsroom is so important?
Well, it's interesting because I think there's communication teams can really take a more traditional approach, working with the news media, which I think is still absolutely critical. But as the media is changing dramatically, we have to figure out what is the most effective way to get our story out and get the story or the message out in the way that we really want to tell it. I think hopefully, and that we will always continue to work closely with the media, because I think it still brings that very powerful third-party validation. But PR people are also being, pushed to really do more news content strategy and figuring out how to get their story out more broadly and amplifying the message. And so the newsroom on our clevelandclinic.org website was really designed to host some of that news content that's unique to the Cleveland Clinic, focusing on innovation and our mission of clinical excellence and education and research. So we really want to be able to be a go-to source for journalists so they can pull assets down from the Cleveland Clinic to make sure that they have what they need to write their stories.
I was on a recent webinar, and there was a fellow there from Forrester Research, and he said that according to their research, 75% of PR professionals really struggle with what to measure.
Well, my boss asked me the other day for the final number of stories that ran in 2017, and I said, I'm sorry, we don't count those anymore. So and he sort of, like, what? And I said, I care about quality, not quantity. The real answer is I do care about both, but we're very focused on, the outcome of the story. What impact did it have? What was it? What impact did it have on patient volume? How many phone calls did we get? What happened to our, other metrics that are driven by PR coverage? So, I kind of joked around with him, but I really were trying to get away from just how many Cleveland Clinic media hits we got and move really toward, what are the metrics that really matter to us? And I think that's, a continued focus of ours on what we want to measure. I mean, I think quantity really does help, but we really want to focus on that targeted message to the right audience with, really own that story and make sure it's the most powerful, meaningful, and educational piece we can put out there. I think what's important to us is that we really focus more on that quality story, what is the real outcome of our efforts, and I think that makes it easier to demonstrate the value on the organization. If I have a front page story on Time magazine about deep brain stimulation in the first ever stroke patient and how that medical innovation was able to really help that patient's quality of life, that's a lot more than Cleveland Clinic and 6 other institutions said this. Really we want to own that story. And we actually take it a step further and score every story that we have. So we grade it, like think of a school paper, but we grade it from negative 100 to positive 100. And right now we're hovering around 60 to 80 on scoring, and we really want to keep focusing on that quality score and moving it up. We have actually a specific algorithm that helps us look at each story and decide what is the quality of that story. So things like, are we in the headline? Was our physician quoted throughout the story? Did we get our messages in there about patient experience, quality, innovation, those kinds of things.
If you were to give advice to somebody just graduating this year, in terms of a career boost and a career path, what would you tell them to do that they haven't already learned?
I think measurement has to be a focus. They have to be able to be curious about it. We joke around on our team that we have left brain thinkers and right brain. The right brains are more creative, and we're trying to force the little usage of our left brain, which is not comfortable for PR people. They tend to not like the numbers and not like the analytics, but I think it's something that in this digital world, everyone has to start to look at the metrics to help them drive strategy. So I would say, get internships that are, helping you move along in your career, that are going to give you exposure to more of the business side of public relations and how it affects your business, because it really does, and learn as much as you can. I think network with people that are interested. There are a lot of organizations that focus on measurement and conferences and meetings, and it's a great place to really meet people who are in that. And you can learn across industries as well. I'm in the nonprofit healthcare sector, but you can learn a lot from other industries too, and see case studies on what they're doing around measurement and steal their ideas.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time and your insight.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.